power of ignoring others, Buddhist wisdom. How often have you found yourself exhausted after a heated argument? How many times has a simple disagreement spiraled into days of worry, tension, or sadness? If you are like many of us, you might have lost count. At our age, after decades of living and learning, one truth becomes clearer than ever. Not every battle is worth our energy. Yet, despite this knowing, why do we still get pulled into conflicts that drain us? In the timeless wisdom of Buddhism, there lies a profound answer, a power hidden in the art of ignoring. But this is not indifference or avoidance. It is a deliberate, wise choice to preserve our peace, a practice that frees the mind and soul from needless suffering. Imagine waking up every day with an unshakable calm, unaffected by others' harsh words or provocations. Imagine your mind as steady as a mountain, unmoved by the storms of criticism or conflict swirling around you. This is the power of non-reaction, a quiet strength that transforms the way we live, love, and relate. In this exploration, we will journey through the depths of this ancient wisdom, uncover its relevance in our modern lives, and learn how, through mindful silence and wise response, we can reclaim our inner peace. Because as the Buddha taught, true freedom begins when we no longer let the outer world disturb the sanctuary within. In the journey of life, especially as we grow older, we come to recognize a painful truth. Many of the conflicts we engage in bring more harm than good. It's easy to recall moments, perhaps with family, friends, or even strangers, when a simple disagreement turned into a whirlwind of anger, frustration, and hurt feelings. These moments leave us not only emotionally drained, but sometimes physically exhausted as well. Why does this happen? The answer lies in the nature of our reactions. From childhood, society teaches us that defending ourselves is necessary. If someone attacks or challenges us, we must fight back, prove our point, or risk losing face. This reflex, however, is often a trap. Consider this. When someone insults you or criticizes your beliefs, are they truly seeking to understand you? More often than not, their goal is to provoke a reaction. When you respond with anger or defensiveness, you hand over your energy to them, like a flame feeding a fire. This not only strengthens their position, but drains your own vitality. There is a Buddhist teaching that sheds light on this cycle. It tells of a man insulted in the street who simply smiled and walked away. When asked why he did not respond, he said, "If someone offers you a poisonous gift and you refuse to take it, to whom does the poison belong?" The answer is simple. It remains with the giver, not the receiver. In our daily lives, the poison takes many forms: harsh words, criticism, provocation. If we accept these by reacting emotionally, we absorb the poison ourselves. But when we choose not to react, we protect our peace. The tendency to argue is often less about the truth and more about the ego. Our identity, especially after many years of life experience, becomes tightly woven with our opinions and beliefs. When these are challenged, it feels like a personal attack, stirring defensive energy. Yet, Buddhism teaches that attachment to our ego and opinions is a source of suffering. When we cling to being right or being understood, we imprison ourselves in a cycle of conflict. For those who have lived long enough to see the ebb and flow of life's challenges, it becomes clear. The greatest strength lies not in proving oneself, but in choosing when to engage and when to remain silent. Attachment and suffering. In the quiet moments of reflection, many of us come face to face with a profound reality. Much of our suffering stems not from the world around us, but from within. Specifically, from our attachments. The Buddha taught us long ago that attachment is the root cause of suffering. But what does attachment really mean in the context of our daily lives, especially as we grow older and accumulate decades of experiences? Attachment, in the simplest terms, is clinging, holding too tightly to ideas, identities, relationships, or outcomes. This clinging creates expectations, and when reality fails to meet these expectations, pain and frustration arise. Think about your own experience. Perhaps you have found yourself deeply hurt when a loved one disagrees with your perspective, or when your efforts go unrecognized. Or maybe you have felt the sting of criticism or gossip, which seems to question your very worth. These reactions often arise because we are attached to our image, our sense of control, or the desire to be right. Buddhism invites us to see these attachments not as flaws to be ashamed of, but as natural tendencies that, if left unchecked, lead to suffering. It encourages us to cultivate awareness, to recognize when we are clutching too tightly, and to practice letting go. This process of letting go is not about becoming indifferent or cold. It is about understanding the impermanence of all things, the fact that everything in life is in constant flux. Our opinions, our relationships, our health, and even our identity change with time. Holding on to them rigidly only causes suffering. Imagine a tree in autumn. The leaves turn golden and fall away, not because the tree wants to lose them, but because that is the natural cycle. Clinging to the leaves would only hinder the tree's growth. Likewise, clinging to our opinions or to the need to always be understood binds us and prevents inner growth. For those of us who have walked through many seasons of life, this teaching offers a path to peace. By gradually loosening our grip on the need to always be right or to control how others see us, we free ourselves from unnecessary conflict. This does not mean we stop caring or become passive. Rather, we learn to choose our battles wisely, to discern when engagement serves growth and when it only perpetuates suffering. Practicing detachment in this way allows us to respond to life's challenges with greater calmness and clarity. Instead of reacting impulsively, we observe our emotions and question their origin. Is this anger protecting a fragile ego? Is this need to argue a mask for deeper insecurity? Through such mindful awareness, cultivated over years or decades, we begin to experience a peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. This inner freedom is the gift of Buddhist wisdom, especially valuable as we enter the later stages of life. Cultivating inner strength through silence. In a world full of noise and constant demands for our attention, the ability to choose silence is a rare and powerful art. For many of us, especially as we grow older, this art becomes not just a strategy, but a path to profound peace. The Buddha's teachings remind us that not every word spoken or every slight deserves a response. In fact, sometimes the wisest course is to remain silent, not out of indifference, but out of deep understanding and wisdom. Consider the simple story from Buddhist tradition. A man, insulted harshly on the street, chooses not to react. When asked why, he explains, "If someone offers you poison and you refuse to accept it, who does the poison belong to?" The answer is clear. The poison stays with the one who offers it. This story illustrates the heart of non-reaction. When we refuse to respond to provocations, we protect ourselves from the poison of anger, bitterness, and resentment. We conserve our energy and preserve our peace. Why is this so challenging? Because reacting has often become an automatic reflex. Many years of conditioning teach us to defend our ego fiercely. When challenged, we instinctively respond, sometimes before fully understanding the situation. This impulsive reaction often escalates conflicts unnecessarily. But through mindful practice, especially the practice that many of us can cultivate in later life, we learn to pause, to observe the arising emotions without immediately acting on them. This moment of pause is the seed of non-reaction. Non-reaction is not about suppressing feelings or pretending nothing matters. On the contrary, it is about acknowledging emotions fully, then choosing a response that serves peace rather than conflict. It is about knowing that sometimes the strongest action is no action at all. The power of silence is often underestimated. In moments when others expect us to respond with anger or defensiveness, our calmness becomes a mirror reflecting their own unrest. Without the reaction they seek, provocateurs often lose their power. Imagine standing in a room where someone is shouting, trying to provoke you. You remain still, unmoved, neither retaliating nor withdrawing. Over time, their energy wanes and their anger dissolves into quiet. You have won not by fighting, but by holding firm in your peace. For those of us who have navigated the complexities of family dynamics, workplace tensions, or social conflicts, this practice is invaluable. It allows us to protect our well-being and maintain harmony without sacrificing dignity or truth. Buddhism guides us with a simple question before speaking or reacting. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If the answer is no to any, then silence is often the wisest choice. This art, cultivated over time, transforms not only how others see us, but how we experience ourselves. It is the gateway to inner freedom, a freedom that comes from mastering the self rather than controlling others. As we journey through life, we often face moments where conflict seems unavoidable. Whether with family members, friends, or even strangers, disagreements can flare up and test our patience and wisdom. But what if there was a way to navigate these situations skillfully? Not by running away, but by choosing peace intentionally. Buddhism offers us practical strategies that transform conflict from a battleground into an opportunity for growth and calm. 1. Respond with awareness, not reaction. The first step is to recognize when we are about to be pulled into an argument. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, will this discussion lead to understanding or just more frustration? This simple moment of awareness can prevent many unnecessary battles. It's not about ignoring problems, but about choosing when and how to engage. 2. Use gentle, non-confrontational language. When conversations begin to heat up, the words we choose can either escalate or diffuse the tension. Phrases like, "I see your point," or "let's discuss this later when we're both calm," signal respect and openness without feeding the fire. These responses do not mean you agree, but that they create space for dialogue rather than conflict. 3. Don't take things personally. Often, arguments arise not from the issue itself, but from the other person's inner struggles, stress, fear, or insecurity. When someone lashes out, remind yourself that it is their suffering speaking, not a true reflection of your worth. This understanding fosters compassion and helps you remain emotionally steady. 4. Embrace silence as a powerful tool. Sometimes, the best response is no response. Choosing silence, especially when words may inflame a situation, is a profound act of self-mastery. It shows that you will not be drawn into needless drama and protects your peace. 5. Employ humor to disarm. A gentle, well-timed laugh or light-hearted comment can shift the energy in a tense moment. Humor, used wisely, helps others and ourselves see the situation from a lighter perspective, breaking the cycle of anger. 6. Set clear boundaries with calmness. Being peaceful doesn't mean being passive. It means setting boundaries kindly but firmly. Saying, "I'm not going to argue about this right now," or "let's agree to disagree," asserts your limits without aggression. Cultivating lasting peace within. As we age, life's experiences deepen our understanding of impermanence, loss, and change. Yet, with this wisdom often comes the realization of how fragile our peace can be. One harsh word, one unexpected conflict, and the calm we cherish can seem to slip away. Buddhism teaches us that true peace is not the absence of disturbance, but the presence of inner strength, a mind unshaken by external turmoil. Cultivating such resilience is a lifelong practice, accessible to all, especially those with the patience and insight gained through years. Here are essential practices that nurture an unshakable mind. 1. Mindful observation of thoughts and emotions. Begin by simply observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When anger or irritation arises, don't suppress it or act on it immediately. Instead, ask yourself, where is this feeling coming from? Is it rooted in fear, pride, or insecurity? This awareness creates distance between you and the emotion, reducing its power over your actions. 2. Regular meditation. You don't need hours of meditation. Even a few minutes daily can transform your inner landscape. Focus on your breath, the steady rise and fall, anchoring yourself in the present moment. Meditation trains the mind to remain calm amidst chaos, helping you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. 3. Embracing impermanence. Remind yourself often that all things, feelings, situations, even relationships, are temporary. This insight softens attachment and reduces the urgency to control outcomes or prove points. Reflect on past conflicts that once seemed monumental but now appear trivial. This perspective fosters patience and detachment. 4. Surrounding yourself with peace. We are influenced by our environment. Seek out calm spaces, nurturing relationships, and uplifting conversations. Limit exposure to negativity and constant conflict. Cultivating a peaceful environment supports your inner calm, reinforcing the strength you build through practice. 5. Cultivating humor and lightness. Life's challenges need not be met with grim seriousness. Allow yourself to laugh at the absurdities and dramas that often accompany human interaction. This lightheartedness prevents taking things too personally and loosens the grip of stress. As we reach the later chapters of our lives, the pursuit of peace often becomes our greatest treasure. The The power of ignoring what does not serve our well-being is not about detachment in the cold sense, but about choosing freedom. Freedom from endless cycles of conflict, from the tyranny of ego, and from the suffering that comes from needless reaction. The Buddha's timeless wisdom teaches us that suffering arises not from external events themselves, but from how we respond to them. By learning to pause, to reflect, and to choose silence over reaction, we reclaim control over our inner world. Remember the story of the man who, when insulted, did not respond but smiled and walked away? His choice was not weakness, but supreme strength. In that moment, he chose peace over provocation and preserved his mind's calm. For those of us who have weathered many storms in life, be they health challenges, family struggles, or the changes time brings, this wisdom offers a guiding light. It reminds us that not every battle is ours to fight, and that true strength lies in discernment. Ask yourself, is this conflict worth my peace? Will my words bring understanding or only more discord? Can I respond with kindness and calm, or is silence the wiser path? The answers to these questions will guide you toward a life filled with less turmoil and more tranquility. This is not to say that we become passive or indifferent. On the contrary, when we speak, it is with clarity, compassion, and purpose. When we remain silent, it is with the wisdom of knowing that some things simply do not deserve our precious energy. Embracing this path leads to a freedom unlike any other. The freedom to remain unshaken no matter the storms around us. It is a freedom that enriches not only our own lives, but also the lives of those we love and those we encounter. May this teaching inspire you to cultivate that peaceful mountain within, steady and serene, unmovable by the winds of conflict. And so, the next time someone seeks to pull you into turmoil, remember, the greatest victory is to choose peace, to smile, to breathe, and to walk on calm and free.